Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a first look at an upcoming game which has been on the most anticipated list in one way or another, even if I don't always mention it, for the channel for like 5 or 6 years, maybe longer actually. We did an interview with the developer of this game right after they announced it in the very early days of the Single Malt Strategy podcast, and it is, after all this time, finally about to come out. That's right, Green Tree Games' Burden of Command is slated to come out on April 8th. I was given a preview of the game early, and so we are going to start our playthrough of this game. I do think, if it's reasonably well received, we'll play all the way through, but we'll see. Now, I am recording this game about 20 feet away from my newborn, who is less than a week old, so the channel's been quiet for a little while, and that's because I have had a newborn. We spent several days in the hospital and ended up coming home a couple of days ago. Every time I try to do like a little impromptu stream between feedings, something comes up, or, you know, he's just not happy, he wants to be held, or something along those lines, which has prevented me from being able to live stream. I am trying a brief 1-hour video here today to see if we can get something going, but we'll see. I may disappear in the middle of this and you may get a weird cut, but yeah. Anyway, this game is Burden of Command, as I already said, and what this is basically is kind of a leadership RPG, but in the vein of something like Advanced Squad Leader, so like a mixture of a sort of narrative, almost like Suzerain, like a narrative, what do you call it, like storytelling game with role-playing elements, but then also with tactical combat. I had some initial reservations when we played the demo of this game about how that would feel if the tactical combat of the hex-based game and the actual role-playing elements mesh well, but I guess we'll find out as we take a look here. So we're going to go ahead and play the campaign. Yeah, so start a new campaign. Campaigns that start later, example Morocco, will unlock your future for your future convenience as a complete region. Okay, I don't quite understand that sentence, but okay. All right, let's go ahead and play. We're playing as the Cottonbalers, and we're going to play on a balanced difficulty, not too story-focused, not too tactical-focused. We will play, you know, the narrative and also the tactical elements of the game, so that it won't handhold us through the game too much. I'm assuming if you go story, the combat's just easier and it focuses more on the gameplay stuff. All right, that first mile, let's see here. Now, they did do like a little bit of a Band of Brothers type deal in the demo where they had like interviews with veterans between missions, which was kind of interesting. I guess we'll see. Nope, okay, so we're just jumping right in. All right, so this is going to be the tutorial, which takes you through training.
This is Luke Hughes, lead
Oh,
designer
never
for
mind.
Burden of
We do
Command.
get this little bit here.
Through the
Anyway, so this is the beginning where you've got like this little story elements here. Again, like I said, a little bit like Suzerain in sort of the narrative here. So that first mile, it's September 24th, 1942. So we're back in Camp Pickett, Virginia, and we can go ahead and commence our journey. I don't think we need to tell us about this game. We'll just commence our journey. So morning dew dribbles down the bright leaves of the forest. Platoon Sergeant Bennett leads the way beneath the canopy. That should be the hill, he notes, gesturing. So we're in the middle of training. Think of, you know, there's a lot of Band of Brothers like influence. In fact, I think the medic character at Bastogne is actually, I think, a voice or somehow involved in this game. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just take a look here. It says, but this reminds me a little bit of Kurahi, the way they initially start this game out with you training here. But our sergeant's telling us it's just going to be up, you know, up the way. And then based on our choice, it'll influence sort of our character's traits or his credibility or things like that. So we could say 10 miles ago, I don't really want to be a pessimistic officer. I don't want to be calling out my NCOs. I want to try to be a little more inspiring and credibility building. We could take another compass bearing, or sounds like he knows where he's going. So trust him or take another compass bearing. You know, does it make it look like I'm reading some British nautical fiction right now? Does it make it look like I'm not sure what's going on if I take another compass bearing? I think that's, you know, what those British seafaring novels would say is like the captain must always look like he knows where he is and what's going on, even if he doesn't. So you don't take another compass bearing in front of your men. So I guess we'll just do, you know, sounds like he knows where he's going. So you can see here we get some. Well, actually, in this one, we'll get some stuff that pops up here. So there's no reason to second guess him if the man can admit he's wrong. It's definitely blah, blah, blah. Sergeant Bennett has been in the Army since before the big draft in 1940. He knows his way around. I've been in the Army too, so this influences our background traits, would give me more prestige, and that'll be how much influence I have with my superiors. So I'm not like a rookie. I'm not sort of a citizen soldier. I'm a professional. Alternatively, I have recently received my commission, which gives me additional trust in how well my men like me. That, you know, they're going to be like, hey, we like this dude. He's not really a soldier. He's one of us, even if he does have rank. So that can be, you know, can be worth something to your men. Or I'm a reservist returning to the Army. Increases loyalty by 1, how much influence you have over the men after the scenario is over. I'm going to go with the notion that I'm a professional officer, and we'll go with that. So you can see here, you've been practicing your trade in the America's Peacetime Army since before the Germans and Japanese tried to light the world on fire. The U.S. has yet to send many divisions overseas, but that is only a matter of time. And now we're going to get like this little demonstration of how to move around the map, but I think I can do that on my own and show you guys that without this, so we'll skip ahead. So if you want to skip it, you just hit the exit key, and it gives you that little pop-up like, are you sure you want to do this? And yes, obviously we can do that. Okay, so the U.S. Army will go to war in earnest soon. As an officer, your duty will be to lead the men of your platoon. You just have to find them first, okay? So this is the tutorial. Again, it is trying to walk you through the basics. So we're in Virginia. There's no enemy soldiers. We've got 2 groups around here. And the game wants me to take my character, Lieutenant Unnamed, because I guess I haven't given myself a name yet. Click here, and then where do we want to go? Well, this is a hex-based combat game here, so you can see hexes, you can see elevation represented on the map here, and you can see, you know, how you can move. Now, you also have command points in terms of how much you can do, but we'll go ahead and right-click here. This is where it wants me to move, so we'll do that. And you can see closer to the hill, mountains are always further up, so it's going to give you a little bit of information here. Shows you, you know, how some of these movement points and things like that work. It's been a little while since I played the demo, so maybe a little rusty. But you can see here we've got the one of our 4 movement points has been used. It still wants me to move the leader here. So move the leader up the hill. I don't know if I'm supposed to like wait and go get those soldiers. So you can see stragglers from the 1st platoon still on their way to the obstacle course. So order them to move up. Yell down at the men. Verbosity reflects, you know, how much a leader likes to talk. So am I like a chatty Cathy, or am I, you know, whatever? Or am I like a man of few words, but use my arms to order them forward here? So no one likes someone who talks. Do I want to be a man of few words? Doesn't impact the tactical battlefield, but may add personalization to conversations. I'll be a stoic. I'm a professional. I don't need to be chatting. I'll be a stoic. Just wave them forward.
This is a leadership.
Yep, I know. All right, so now we got to go ahead and issue orders to our squad. We want them to move up. And again, same sort of rule. You can see those little green circles represent command points. Now, when we order units under our command to move, it does actually cost our officer points as well here. Yeah, I know. If you do want to see like us walk through all of this stuff, you can actually watch the demo videos, which are on the channel as well, where I don't think any of this has changed.
So let's move it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So you can see, like, to activate the squad to give us the ability to move it, we used one of our movement points up here, so we're down to 1 green one. But the unit itself, moving only cost itself 1, so we can actually move it to where we are, and then we can group up with this. So our officer is a unit on the map, as well as the soldiers under his command. So here they are, Sergeant. Notes to Sergeant Layton, no relation, and his kitchen patrol reached the summit. Layton, can you see the obstacle course from here? Nods in the affirmative. His fellow spud peelers are all but ready to drop. So do we tell him to, you know, just stick around and getting rest up, or You know, if only they were in better shape, that would be nice. It doesn't give me any like obvious traits or benefits for choosing any of these options here, so maybe I'm just lamenting to myself. If only they were in better shape. Okay. One last push should put your boots beside the stream, spent perhaps, but in position nonetheless. All right, so we've got our leader here, and we've got the engineers. Left-click the leader portrait repeatedly until only the leader is selected. So you can see on the left side here, right now both these units are selected, the squad and the leader. If I click it again, it only has one of them selected. You can click on the portrait here. So leader selected, unit not selected. Both of them are selected, so you can do that. We're just going to move the leader. He'll move out this way. Just lieutenant unnamed. Engineers are going to hang back.
Honestly.
Okay, let's take a breather, Sergeant Bennett. Yes, but we're almost there. At this point, your leader should be out of orders. 3 to move your leader, 1 to activate the KP squad. The KP squad itself moved twice, the normal amount for a green rifle squad. Orders refresh at the start of the new turn. Veteran squads do get more movement orders here, but I don't need you to tell me that. I already know that. Be fun to move my... I'm just going to order them to move. It's not actually part of the turn, but I'll order them to move anyway. And then you can see here, so we're in cover. We also had that little shield icon that told us that we were in cover. So go ahead and end the turn. We get a little pop-up here. Clearing should be just ahead. Movement order can blah, blah, blah. So we'll go ahead and choose our leader. I guess that's squad left. The squad that we had leaves the scenario. So we're now at the assembly point. And now there's I guess an officer who's acting as the field umpire, the judge of the scenario. Because this is a war game, this is a training exercise. He's asking, you're nearly late, okay? Well, I'm not late. I'm nearly late. That doesn't mean I am late. The whole 15 minutes earlier you're late thing. Well, I'm not late, so I'll just salute. Field umpire shakes his head slightly. When out in the field, such gestures are apt to attract snipers. You're goddamn right it is. That was a sniper check, you bastard. If you're going to be an asshole to me. My buddy who's in the Marines said that he had a Mustang, which is like an officer who came up through the ranks, who used to, anytime anyone would salute him when he was in country in Afghanistan, he would like immediately drop to the dirt and pretend he got shot, to the horror of the person who saluted them. And I guess he just loved to fuck around with people. But anyway. Thank you for the clarification. Sarcasm. I'll be sarcastic. I know I said I wasn't going to be a talkative person, but in what little I talk, I'm fine with being sarcastic. All right, let's just go. All right, so we need to take this farmhouse down here by turn 4. That's going to be asking a lot to do that. To do that, we need to get our officer over to where their squad is here, meet up with them so we can actually, assault. Because an individual officer assaulting a farmhouse is not going to accomplish a whole lot. Now, if we just click on them and right-click where we want them to go, they'll take the most direct path, which is across this open hex. Moving across open hexes usually is best to be avoided. It makes it more likely you're spotted, sniped, take damage, etc. So we're going to use the cover here. These little shield icons in this woods represent the fact that they are in cover. So we're going to do that by using waypoints. Hit the control key, right-click the hex we want to move through. Those little flags represent where we're going to move. And then go ahead and right-click here, and we will move around the open terrain to our unit. So good job there. Kick them into shape. Keep the verbosity going. We don't need to be a chatty. So good job for us there. Avoided the sort of scolding of our umpire. Now it wants me to go ahead and bolster these guys or rally these guys. You can see their morale is red, that little icon there. They're unit sort of hash there is red. They're not in good shape. They don't want to fight, so we'll go ahead and use the rally command. It improves their morale. And if you try and move units that aren't rallied, they move less. They don't have they don't move as far. They're not as effective. So best to get them in good shape before you start issuing them orders. So here's our dude over here. We want to get down to this house here. I don't have any points left for the squad. The rally used it up. So maybe I move my officer over this way. I don't know. We could. He go ahead on his own. But we'll see what happens. All right, so end the turn. Nothing happens. Germans don't do anything. Maybe we have surprise on our side. We shouldn't refight the last war. We don't need to go rivers of blood World War I. Do I want? So if I tell him this, does it actually affect the soldiers coming online? Not really. These guys are still yellow. These guys are green. I don't know what their morale is. But our officer here is being told to bolster the squad. I moved my officer out of range of the squad. So move them around that way. I did have to use a movement point to activate them. I didn't listen to the order to bolster them first, mainly because I didn't want to waste a movement point, having them only move halfway there. Instead, let's use our movement points up here. Okay. So let's get these boys back here in the rear, ready to fight, seeing as I sort of let this squad go forward on their own. Okay. Can they move, or did they use all their points? They did use all their points. And I can't activate the other squad. So I have insufficient orders to... I've got to end the turn. We're going to run out of time here. We're over the time limit. Screw it. Hey, diddle diddle right up the middle. I know we'll move across the open here. We may trip some... The bad guys spotted you or something. Okay, there's the bad guys. Use a point to bolster these guys before they go into combat. Try and suppress them. Okay. Took additional time to form up your entire platoon, giving the enemy a chance to make additional preparations. I think this particular scenario in this demo is always going to give you a rebuke no matter what. Okay. See to the men. I don't need to argue about points. Yep, no matter what you chose, the Emperor's going to find fault. That's fine. actual war will be a hell of a thing. So it's a draw. We earn prestige and loyalty. And continue with the story.
A good leader needs to be able to think ahead, anticipate a situation, and make a decision based on the best information available.
Thank you for that little clip, Damian Lewis, right? Band of Brothers related content. Okay. I don't think you can do better than a draw. I could be wrong. Why am I in the army? Duty, defend my loved ones. Well, I already said I was a professional, so we'll go with duty. Okay. And now you get like the in-between battle section here where you can go see your world. You know, you can see different propaganda things. They really do try and enmesh you in like what's going on in the various campaigns and places you're fighting at the time that, you know, these are all relevant to our current spot in the war. We can also go to aid your men, where you get like a whole bunch of abilities to upgrade and whatnot your soldiers. It's less relevant during training here, but you can use like loyalty, prestige, and things like that to improve your soldiers. We'll go ahead and not make any changes to that right now and just continue the journey. Because we are going to be walking through like how to fight and other things like that. We obviously didn't really do a whole lot. We did suppress those enemy troops, but that was about it. And so now we're going to get another mission here, I think, where we have to like assault a position or something like that. Okay, so is this the same day, September 24th? New day of exercises here. Do we let them rest? They'll go into the next exercise with no suppression, but they'll have no experience. And my men move quicker. They'll be slightly fatigued, but with some experience. Or double time. So, you know, how hard do we want to push the men? Experience is going to be good. This is training. I think it's time to push the men. I don't want to be, I don't want to be Captain Sobel, but you know, maybe push them a little bit here. All right, so the men are moving up. Okay. Hey, wooden machine guns. Or is that? That's actually metal. I just like to wave. I don't need to talk. I can just wave. Okay. Wait until the Empire's done talking. I'm just a sarcastic son of a bitch.
Bennett tells me you're
So this is one of the things with this game is it's very focused on finding and fixing and whatnot enemy units and flanking them. It is not so much focused on like, oh, you're just going to immediately inflict casualties. Casualties do come, but they come as a result of following proper tactics, and that's one of the things the game does spend a pretty good amount of effort in trying to recreate here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin a fight. We've got to go ahead and destroy this enemy unit down here. Again, this is still sort of part of the tutorial here, but we've got a machine gun, a mortar squad here, and you know, it's kind of trying to teach us like how do you actually fight here. So one of the things you do, select the squad. I kind of want to move them into the into this cover here, but it does want me to shoot here, I guess. So select the squad and then right click to shoot. So there you can see here. So we get suppressed by the enemy fire. We shoot back. So they are behind stone walls. So anyway here. So shoot this enemy. So like this squad. So we can kind of try and like, you know, wear them down. We've got more units, more firepower. I don't need to pull my weapon. Should have opened fire with the MG first. But I'm just following the instructions here. I'm just following what the tutorial tells me
To
here.
further reinforce that,
I don't need to watch the video here. You guys probably could if you haven't played this before.
That end toward the enemy.
I don't think you could activate this squad, but don't do so yet. Okay. Well, yeah, my officer's down here. So wants me to end the round. Gotcha. So open fire with a machine gun here. This unit is assigned to this officer. Different officers can activate different units. So keep that in mind. Every unit that is used in a turn has to be activated. It has to be activated from an officer. So it really does follow this chain of command concept rather than just like moving units independent to their officers. But your company or your force in a scenario, you'll have multiple officers. So you're not just limited to like the 4 action points that your particular officer has. Any of the other officers in the fight can do that. So go ahead and tell me to open fire with the machine gun. You can see here when you hover over a unit before you shoot, you actually get like an initiative chance. You have a likelihood of doing various amounts of damage or suppression and whatnot. Very, very sort of board game counter type results here. So go ahead and activate the MG. You can also do artillery. We do have that mortar unit here, so go ahead and select stern. So we can do our indirect fire down here. We've got a mortar unit we can use, and we can go ahead and drop RD on them. The mortar unit is an on-map mortar unit here. But they're dropping down here. So we got machine gun fire on them. We got artillery fire on them. No casualties yet, though. So it is, you know, I don't need to, let's just go. And it's trying to tell you that, like, when an enemy unit is not suppressed, when they're not under heavy, you know, it takes time to inflict casualties. They don't just generally mount up in the way they often do in a lot of video games here. So once we end over the round, so we end the round, and now we can move over to the officer. Each officer issues their orders within their particular round. So you end a round before you end a turn. Once all of the officers have moved through, you've used all those rounds up, then your turn ends. But we'll go ahead and select the officers here under Lieutenant Unnamed. Go ahead and bolster these guys for the coming fight. Improves their sort of efficiency in this coming fight. Go ahead and choose Assault. Assault this position here. So we've dropped RD on them. We've used machine gun fire, multiple rifle squad shooting. Now it's time to go ahead and assault. There's a morale check, and then we can go hand to hand. We did move across the open, which does mean we're exposed to enemy fire. So that is a little bit of a risk there, but in this tutorial scenario, I wasn't too worried about it. I was just following instructions. And there you go. We took the objective here. So enemy squad's been sighted. So another little update. New enemy units down here. My boys took the objective, but I'd rather they get under cover than staying in this building, I think, right? Move into the woods. So there's the enemy unit, question mark here. I don't think I can do anything, though, so I think I gotta wait. Wonder if the enemy's gonna do anything. Take out this enemy unit. The enemy's kind of in the open. We're kind of behind him, too. But let's go ahead and move it with stern. We'll do indirect fire on these boys. We'll use the mortars again. Drop it down on them. Give us some cover. Boom. You can inflict casualties, by the way, when you first start shooting. It's less likely, but it does occur. So our MG unit is engaging these guys. Our mortars are engaging these guys. Gonna end the round and just assault with the infantry down here. So these guys are shooting around, but our guys are kind of coming in from behind and defeated the enemy there here. So minor victory in the mission. There's probably a cleaner way to do this particular fight other than listening to what the game's telling me to do. So I gain a little bit of prestige, a little bit of loyalty. From the men's point of view, you did adequately. From the officer's point of view, it was a minor victory. So that's like one thing to keep in mind is you kind of get like 2 scores. Your men's opinion of you is separate from High Command's opinion of you. And so there's sort of 2 separate scores here. And that all plays into like as the war unfolds, your senior's opinion of you matters. I assume you can get fired. But also your men's opinion, their willingness to run through walls for you does matter as well.
Being a strong leader also meant being able to rely on others to help get the job done. That included fellow soldiers who had vastly different strengths and weaknesses than his own.
Okay, so the exercise is over. Minor victory. Okay. Yeah, so you can go ahead and personalize your platoon too. So this game definitely allows you to like customize certain things. Can I change? Captain Lamb's the commander. Where am I? I'm Lieutenant Unnamed. Can I? How do I change my name? There's a way to do it. I know there is. I can also spend prestige and loyalty to buff some of these guys. Did some of them earn some experience anyway? So like these squads did. These guys got 46. I can make the 3rd squad 1st platoon like my crack, because they're the ones who charged the enemy twice, I think it was, in that last scenario. Did the mortars get anything? The MG got some. They're actually already a level 2. And the mortars got a little bit. So I can use 2 loyalty, 2 prestige to improve their XP by 25. When they get to 100 there, they kind of upgrade there. So you can see loyalty and prestige up there. So these guys are now a level 2, I assume. Oh wait, no. 0 to 500. Every 100 XP generates positive modifier. It's not really level 2, but like they're more experienced. So every time you get up to 100, it improves there. And we consume our loyalty and prestige up there by doing that. So probably have enough to get one of these squads up to another one of these squads to get like to 100. The MGs, one of the MGs already is. Prestige for me to upgrade my own experience, but let's say we'll do these guys. There you go. So we got 2 squads. Now over 100 XP. Based on that first exercise, we can go ahead and continue our journey here. Which will be a bigger and longer scenario. And frankly, unfortunately, right now, I don't have time to do that. So this is just like a very first intro to the tutorial of the game. We will take a deeper look at the actual game as it sort of unfolds and is less hand-holdy in a future video, hopefully tomorrow. Maybe we'll even live stream today if I get a nap time in the middle of the day. We'll see. But that's going to do it for today's video of Burden of Command. Comes out on April 8th. This is the beginning of our series. Hopefully I wasn't too distracted from having my child just next to me and trying to not have a fight ensue. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Apologize for the inactivity. Hopefully that will change soon. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.